Let's travel back in time to when the legendary Crimson Avenger made his debut in Detective Comics, paving the way for a golden era of superheroes. From 1938 to 1945, this masked hero prowled the streets, leaving a crimson trail of heroic deeds in his wake. The 1930s and 1940s were marked by significant historical events and societal changes that shaped the backdrop for the emergence of fictional, noir-style heroes and vigilantes in the world of comic books. The Prohibition era of the 20s and early 30s provided organized crime syndicates with an opportunity to quench the thirst of the masses. However, this rise in illicit activities and corruption was fiercely combated by the government's G-Men. This campaign against organized crime inspired the creation of many iconic vigilantes in popular culture. The Great Depression left folks feeling like they were stuck in a never-ending rainstorm of financial doom and gloom. With jobs scarce and poverty on the rise, people craved a way to escape into a world of make-believe. And what better way to do that than with comic books? The colorful pages and fantastical stories were just what the doctor ordered to soothe troubled minds. Radio serials and pulp magazines were popular entertainment forms during the golden age of radio and pulp fiction in the 1930s and 1940s. Famous characters like the Shadow and the Green Hornet became popular through radio shows and pulp fiction stories before appearing in comic books. The film noir genre emerged with its dark, moody atmosphere, moral ambiguity, and stylized crime dramas. It influenced the creation of noir-style heroes in other media, such as comic books. World War II was a game-changer for global politics and left a lasting impact on how we view superheroes. With patriotism and heroism at the forefront, the fight against tyranny became a major theme in popular culture, which bled into the pages of comics. When the world was feeling pretty gloomy and chaotic, with everything from money troubles to wild global events causing mayhem, it was the perfect time for some gritty heroes to save the day. These brave characters were like a mirror for the real-life struggles and worries people were facing, and they were ultimately proof that there's always a way to fight back against injustice and find hope in the darkness. Once upon a time, in 1937, National Comics, later known as DC Comics, launched the epic Detective Comics. And lo and behold, from these initials sprang one of the biggest comic book publishers worldwide, DC Comics. Back in the day, Detective Comics was an anthology-style magazine full of gumshoe tales that would make even the toughest guy sweat. The early editions featured characters like Slam Bradley and Speed Saunders. Jim Chambers created The Crimson, aka The Crimson Avenger. From October of 1938 to September of 1940, Detective Comics issues number 20 through number 43 showcased the Crimson with his legendary red hat and cloak. Jim Chambers also drew the art for the Crimson Avenger's only appearances on the cover of Detective Comics, issue number 22 in December of 38, and number 34 in December of 39. Lee Travis, aka The Crimson, was born out of the Mystery Men fad of the 1930s pulp stories, styled after the Green Hornet, who was all the rage back then on the radio. Let's talk about the Hornet in the room. During the golden age of comics, creators shared a common storytelling language and drew inspiration from each other to craft iconic themes that captivated the public's imagination. In other words, comic book creators had a habit of peeking over each other's shoulders. If a hot new hero came out, everyone would scramble to make their own version. Despite this copycat culture, each character had its own special sauce. This led to a wild and wonderful world of heroes and villains, each with their own unique flavor and style. Both Mystery Men were wealthy newspaper publishers, had similar vigilante outfits and gadgets, and an Asian valet chauffeur with exceptional martial arts skills. The Wing and Kato, tales of yesteryear, have not aged gracefully and are riddled with offensive stereotypes that would make contemporary audiences cringe. With his mask, gas gadget, and trusty Asian assistant, he might have given the Green Hornet a run for his money. But make no mistake, this superhero is a true pioneer for DC Comics. The Crimson Avenger hit the newsstands 4 months after Superman's debut in Action Comics, and 4 months before Batman's grand entrance as the new star of Detective Comics. The Batman changed Detective Comics forever. While the Bat eventually overshadowed all of the other characters in Detective, the Crimson Avenger continued to appear in the anthology series for quite a while. The Case of the Chemical Syndicate, featuring the new Batman, was the main story in issue number 27, followed by other stories including Murder on the Oceanic Line Docks, featuring the Crimson Avenger. When superheroes became more popular than masked vigilantes, the Crimson Avenger updated his costume. His outfit was changed to a more standard superhero uniform consisting of red tights, yellow boots, trunks, cowl with crest, and a sun symbol, although some sources say it is a stylized bullet hole. We'll investigate the Crimson Avenger's symbol a bit later. Once the Crimson Avenger traded in his cloak and fedora for a classic superhero uniform, Wing couldn't resist following in his footsteps. He slips into a matching yellow getup, officially becoming the Avenger's trusty sidekick. The Crimson Avenger and Wing continue to fight crime in Detective Comics for several more years. The Crimson Avenger and Wing also appeared in the first 5 issues of World's Best, World's Finest comics from 1941 to 1942. In 1944, National Comics cut down on its page counts from 60 to 52. Sadly, this meant the end of the line for our crimson-clad hero and other heroes who had to be axed from the comics. The Crimson Avenger and Wing's final Golden Age adventure in Detective Comics, The Disappearing Desperados, involved the Hooded Ghost Gang who crashed a society event in Detective number 89. The Crimson Avenger and Wing joined up with the 7 Soldiers of Victory. Wing is honored as the 8th Soldier. For 14 issues of leading comics until the spring of 1945, the 7 Soldiers of Victory bravely battled various menaces, only to vanish without a trace. As the superhero genre fell out of favor in the late 1940s, DC Comics shifted focus to other genres, including science fiction, westerns, humor, and romance. Leading Comics was the first DC title to abandon superheroes and switch to other themes. The Crimson Avenger thus became a footnote in Golden Age history. In The Mystery of the Crimson Avenger, inventor Albert Elwood pretended to be the Crimson Avenger to stop the Octopus Gang with Superman, Batman, and Robin. After being captured and saved by the world's finest team, he decided to retire from crime fighting and continue inventing. The Justice League of America, issues number 100 through 102, explained why the Seven Soldiers of Victory had been forgotten. In their final case, the Hand summoned a cosmic menace called the Nebula Man. Defeating it cost the life of one soldier and erased all memory of the Seven Soldiers of Victory from Earth-2. The Justice League of America and Justice Society of America were able to pull off a time-bending rescue mission and brought the soldiers back to the present day. The next Crimson Avenger appearance came in the form of an unpublished story from the 1940s. The serialized adventure, The Land of Magic, featured updated artwork, and it appeared in Adventure Comics number 438 through 443 in 1975. In 1981, we received the story Whatever Happened to Crimson Avenger in DC Comics Presents number 38. Lee Travis, who discovered he had a terminal illness, donned his Crimson Avenger outfit one last time after seeing an SOS signal from a ship taken over by criminals seeking to steal its cargo of explosive chemical waste. Despite his efforts to stop them, a grenade caused a fire that threatened to cause a massive explosion. Travis piloted the ship to a safe distance, sacrificing himself heroically. The crew was saved, but no one knew that the Crimson Avenger was responsible for their rescue. The Crimson Avenger has a comprehensive story arc in DC Comics, from debut to death. His final adventure in 1981 is a memorable part of DC lore. In the same year that we learn of the Crimson Avenger's final fate, Roy Thomas reintroduces the Crimson Avenger and other Golden Age characters into Earth-2's World War II mythology in the All-Star Squadron. The All-Star Squadron illustrates the concept of retroactive continuity, or retcon, as the team was retroactively added to the DC superhero history, rewriting segments of the established DC canon of the 1940s. For example, the story The Tyrants of Time from Leading Comics number 3, originally published in June of 1942, was adapted and retold in All-Star Squadron number 29. And so it appeared that the Crimson Avenger would remain a minor character, only appearing in occasional flashbacks and brief appearances in DC history retcons. Until the Crisis on Infinite Earths changed everything. Crisis on Infinite Earths was a major change for DC Comics. The storyline centers on the Anti-Monitor trying to annihilate the multiverse, prompting heroes and villains to unite to protect their worlds. During the crisis, the Crimson Avenger and his fellow Seven Soldiers assemble to discover the cause of the red skies above Earth-2, but instead get involved in a battle with the sinister Sense Taster. The Sinister Secret of the Sixth Sense is a retelling of Leading Comics number 4, with the story retconned into the wider context of the Crisis. DC Comics utilized the Crisis as a means to reboot its entire mythology for the first time. With more than 4 decades of ongoing stories to reconcile, this was not just a fresh start. This was an intricate narrative that led to the loss of many beloved characters, including Barry Allen, The Flash, and Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. The exceptional writing in this limited series has made it the most significant story in DC Comics history, prompting a split in the company's timeline into pre- and post-crisis eras. By the conclusion of the series, the surviving characters were merged into a unified continuity. Unfortunately, some of the continuity changes and retcons caused by the Crisis proved to be problematic. This led to the Crimson Avenger being elevated from a lesser-known character of the 1940s to the status of milestone DC character.
Earth 2 and Earth 1 merged with other realities to create a new unified reality in Crisis on Infinite Earths. This was known as New Earth and served as the primary reality in the new DC universe. Golden Age heroes and contemporary heroes coexist on New Earth, yet they belong to different eras. The Golden Age Flash and Green Lantern can exist alongside their Silver Age counterparts since they are distinct characters. However, heroes who share the same alter ego cannot coexist. In the new unified timeline, iconic Golden Age superheroes like Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Robin, Aquaman, Green Arrow, and Speedy, who shared secret identities, similar origin stories, and supporting casts with their modern counterparts, had to be removed from history. Consequently, this raised doubts about the continuity of recent All-Star Squadron tales, as many of these Golden Age heroes appeared frequently in the stories. To start fresh after Crisis on Infinite Earths, the All-Star Squadron concluded with issue number 67 and was succeeded by a new series, Young All-Stars. In this new timeline, the Crimson Avenger and Wing occasionally made appearances in the Young All-Stars. The most significant post-Crisis challenge was Batman. In order to give post-Crisis Batman a modern makeover, the DC Comics team had to erase his Golden Age escapades. This situation resulted in a shift where the Golden Age Batman ceased to be the primary inspiration for many masked heroes during the Golden and Silver Ages of DC Comics. To bridge this continuity gap, the Crimson Avenger was chosen as the perfect candidate to fill that position. The Crimson Avenger is now recognized as the original masked crime fighter in DC Comics, setting the stage for future heroes. This acknowledgement elevated his status and led to new Crimson Avenger tales in the late 1980s.
After the Crisis on Infinite Earths event, DC Comics introduced a series of ongoing secret origin narratives to adapt and clarify character backstories within the new universal framework. Renowned writers Roy and Dan Thomas, known for their love of retroactive continuity, tackled the absence of an official origin story for the Crimson Avenger. In their secret origin storyline, they linked the Crimson Avenger to Orson Welles' radio adaptation of War of the Worlds from October 1938, aligning with the Crimson Avenger's debut on newsstands that same month. Criminals capitalizing on the ensuing Martian panic robbed a masquerade fundraiser Lee Travis was attending. He succeeded in stopping the thieves, but not before a woman was fatally shot. From that night forward, Lee fought crime to avenge her death. This portrayal of the Crimson Avenger epitomizes traditional grit and justice. Without superhuman abilities, he depends on his keen intellect and exceptional hand-to-hand combat skills. Proficient in martial arts and an unmatched marksman, the Crimson Avenger honed his skills through intense training sessions with his partner, Wing. Initially armed with two .45 caliber automatic handguns, he later designed a specialized gas pistol that released a vivid red cloud to incapacitate his enemies and conceal his actions. The Crimson Avenger's secret origin was a captivating piece that harkened back to the Mystery Men era of comics. The positive fan reaction to this issue led to a 1988 miniseries. After Roy and Dan Thomas penned the Secret Origins issue featuring the Crimson Avenger, they later revised the Crimson's initial encounter with the Sandman in Secret Origins number 7 during the same year. In this story, Wes Dodds meets the Crimson and uncovers his true identity as Lee Travis, his former college rival. Initially at odds, they eventually unite to confront the Phantom of the Fair, an assassin targeting individuals at the 1939 New York World's Fair. Following their brief collaboration, Travis shares his design for a gas pistol with Dodds, which the Sandman subsequently improves, further intertwining the origins of these mystery men. The Thomases next expanded on the Crimson Avenger's early adventures in a 4-issue miniseries that began in June 1988, coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the Crimson Avenger's debut. Set on December 7, 1938, Travis starts his masked adventures and unknowingly stumbles upon a conspiracy mirroring the headlines of that time in a story called The Dark Cross Conspiracy. The miniseries offers an engaging read, delving into DC history, real-world historical elements, and cultural nuances, all wrapped in a captivating mystery-adventure narrative. Roy and Dan skillfully infuse authenticity into this pulpy, old-school comic book hero, blending classic tropes with modern updates to breathe new life into the character. Unfortunately, although fans appreciated the Crimson Avenger miniseries, it did not progress into an ongoing series. Even after being a part of the DC Universe for over 80 years, this remains the sole comic dedicated to the Crimson Avenger. At the time, DC Comics was already publishing a successful series featuring The Shadow. It looks like DC decided one pulp-era crime fighter was enough, deciding not to double up on noir-style vigilantes.
Since the initial Crisis, DC Comics has utilized multiple Crisis-style events to redefine, adjust, or delve into various elements of its universe's timeline and continuity. Although the death of the original Travis Lee Crimson Avenger appears to be a fixed point in the DC multiverse, he still makes occasional appearances in cameos, flashbacks, and Elseworld tales. Elseworld stories are set in alternate realities that deviate from the established continuity of DC's regular comics. The Golden Age delves into the stories of heroes like the Justice Society, the Crimson Avenger, and the All-Star Squadron, navigating life after World War II in a world that felt it no longer needed their assistance. Aztec's induction into Grant Morrison's era of the JLA includes a touching tribute to the Golden Age. We discover that the JLA oath is sworn over the Crimson Avenger's costume, whom the Martian Manhunter refers to as the first of our kind. Sandman Mystery Theater number 43 is basically a post-Zero Hour continuity retelling of Secret Origins number 7. In 1939, the world teeters on the edge of a new decade and a potential world war. While investigating the Phantom of the Fair, the Sandman accidentally stumbles upon the Crimson Avenger having a shootout with some local thugs. Due to the effects of Zero Hour on the history of the DC Universe, many parts of Lee Travis's personal history has been altered so that he may no longer have known Wes Dodds before this meeting. In issues number 69 and 70, Sandman and Crimson reunite, joined by Hourman, as they all confront a murderer on the streets of New York. Collaborating until the arrival of the police, they then disperse into the shadows once again. The final hour for the 7 Soldiers of Victory is recounted in Stars and Stripe 9, depicting the comeback of the Crimson Avenger and the 7 Soldiers from Limbo, as initially portrayed in Justice League of America, numbers 100 through 102. Although these occurrences are acknowledged in the current canon, certain aspects have been modified to fit the post-crisis continuity. Substitute heroes were integrated into the 7 Soldiers of Victory to fill the gaps left by those removed during the crisis. In particular, Wing, the former sidekick of the Crimson Avenger, was elevated to a full member in post-crisis updates.
This issue also introduces a new character as the modern Crimson Avenger. Created by Jeff Johns and Scott Kolins, Jill Carlyle's Crimson Avenger is part of the mystical and supernatural aspects of the DC Universe, tying into storylines involving magic and otherworldly elements. Jill acquires a set of Colt pistols that once belonged to the original Crimson Avenger, Lee Travis. These pistols come with a curse. If the owner uses them for revenge, they will be doomed to seek out and eliminate those who have unjustly taken innocent lives. As a consequence of the curse, a perpetually bleeding bullet hole materializes in Jill's chest. Jill joins forces with the JSA to seek justice for the original Crimson Avenger, Lee Travis, whose death she was assigned to avenge. She reveals that the explosion leading to Travis's demise was actually orchestrated by the JSA villain known as the Ultra-Humanite.
In 2001, a retcon origin was created that had Travis traveling to Nanda Parbat, where he had a vision of Superman dying at the hands of Doomsday. This gave his life purpose as he vowed to avenge Superman's future death and possibly prevent it. Travis discovers his Starburst emblem in Nanda Parbat as well. This retcon of the Crimson Avenger's origin is not well liked by many fans of the character. Detective Number 27 is an alternate timeline retelling the Batman mythos. Bruce Wayne never becomes the Caped Crusader, instead joining a conspiracy known as the Secret Society of Detectives. In 1939, Bruce Wayne meets Lee Travis, Detective Number 26, aka the Crimson Avenger, who convinces Bruce to become Detective Number 27. The Crimson Avenger made several cameo appearances throughout the Justice League Unlimited series. He had supporting roles in the episodes This Little Piggy and Patriot Act. The Crimson Avenger also appears in issue 33 of the comic book tie-in to the TV series. The only official Crimson Avenger action figure ever produced is also a Justice League Unlimited tie-in. This exclusive Crimson Avenger action figure was part of the DC Universe Justice League Unlimited fan-demanded collection. This 7-pack included other unique characters from the TV series and was offered by Mattel in 2011. The Crimson Avenger next appears in a 2009 Justice League of America story titled Fishnet Femme Fatales, when Zatanna and Black Canary are thrown back in time by a supervillain. DC Universe Legacies is a 10-part history of the DC Universe that spans 5 generations, starting with the dawn of the Mystery Men to the modern era. In the second issue from August 2010, the 7 Soldiers of Victory respond to a newspaper advertisement challenging them to stop synchronized robberies orchestrated by a villain known as the Dummy. During the Convergence crossover event, the 7 Soldiers of Victory regroup to defend their city against the Quard invasion, while cartoonist Scribbly Gibbet, another DC Golden Age character, transcribes their adventures.
The 7 Soldiers of Spring Break was part of the 2021 Infinite Frontier event. In the Stargirl Spring Break special, the modern Crimson Avenger assembles the surviving 7 Soldiers of Victory and takes them on yet another continuity-bending mission, involving a time machine on the ship where the original Lee Travis Crimson Avenger sacrificed his life. In August 2022, DC Comics announced The New Golden Age, an event meant to reintroduce readers to the Justice Society of America and other Golden Age characters, as well as explore the past, present, and future of the DC multiverse. The New Golden Age storyline follows the Justice Society of America as they explore the enigmatic world of Golden Age heroes and villains, unearthing untold stories along the way. This narrative unfolds in the continuing Justice Society of America series, complemented by related limited series like Stargirl, The Lost Children. In Stargirl, The Lost Children, we discover the final fate of the Crimson Avenger's crime-fighting partner, Wing, and many other Golden Age sidekicks. The last appearance of the Crimson Avenger is in the Stargirl TV series. The Lee Travis incarnation of Crimson Avenger appears with Wing in a photograph in the Stargirl Season 1 episode Brainwave as a member of the 7 Soldiers of Victory.
From the depths of history, the Crimson Avenger emerges as a beacon of justice, his crimson cloak billowing behind him as he fearlessly confronts the forces of evil. Lee Travis, a man of mystery and courage, dons the iconic mask and takes on the persona of the Crimson Avenger to protect the innocent and uphold what is right. His daring exploits and unwavering determination have captivated the hearts of many, inspiring a sense of awe and admiration for his noble cause. All told, the Crimson Avenger has over 100 appearances in the comics. While he may not be as celebrated as some of his counterparts, his role as the first masked hero, his influence on the genre, and his place in the DC Comics mythos makes him a crucial figure in the golden age of comics. His importance as a classic DC character shouldn't be overlooked. Thank you for joining us as we explored the lore of the Crimson Avenger. The legacy of this Golden Age hero serves as a gateway to a realm filled with other enigmatic figures from bygone eras, each with their own captivating tales waiting to be discovered. So, join us for future episodes of Retro Nuevo, where the intrigue of the past meets the wonder of the present. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let us know in the comments which forgotten hero or heroine you'd like us to investigate next. Tune in next time when we take out the Wayback Winnebago into the realm of Retro Nuevo. Until then, this is Largo, signing off.
I don't know what's going on. I hope I'm on your mind. On your mind. I've got 70,000 friends, so I guess I'll be alright.